to start off with, maybe you should just give an introduction as to who you are, what you do, where you do it, and also how long you've been doing it for.
Okay, well, my name's Karen Southon. I'm letting agent in Dover, right down on the Kent coast. So we are the closest point to France. It only takes us just, under an hour we can get there. I've had my own letting agency, which I've been running for 13 years. So that's fairly well established, works really well. We've got a nice portfolio of properties. And last year, a year ago, I took on the franchise with Sourced. So now I do property sourcing, which I used to do a bit for my own landlords, but I didn't really see it as I just helped them build their portfolios basically didn't charge them just because we got the property back into our portfolio. So now I'm doing more of the sourcing because the letting agency sort of runs itself.
And the sourcing is an income stream, whereas beforehand it wasn't an income stream.
Yeah, it was just, it just built up my portfolio, of managed properties as opposed to saw it as a money generating thing.
An interesting question I think not a lot of people ask is, do you also invest in the place where you work? So you run your letting agency. Do you also own your own property in that area?
Yeah, I've just bought another one. So I've now got 5. So I've got 5 properties now, and they're all managed by the agency as well. They're just single buy-to-lets, nothing, exciting or anything, but they all bring in a good income. They were bought at good times, all for good prices. So, yeah.
So a question that probably doesn't come into the questions that I've already got planned for you, saying that you buy them at the right time, have you bought any in the last couple of weeks or last couple of months, since coronavirus caused the lockdown?
Yeah, we completed on one the day before lockdown. So we have a lockdown property currently, although it isn't locked down now because initially we were concerned about spending any money on it because we didn't know how this was going to affect us, whether we'd have any money coming in and whether we could use our savings to spend on the property because it needs refurbishing. So yes, we did. We nearly pulled out because it was the day before lockdown. We didn't know what to do. But we would have lost too much money. So we've got it. I'm happy with it. I mean, I got it for a good price. And this has given me the chance to try and keep it well under, the budget. So I'm scrimping and saving to get it done, to a good standard by not actually spending too much money on it, probably.
So this is interesting, really, isn't it? Because you're coming at this from 3 perspectives. You're coming at it from, you're building a business for sourcing properties for people. You're building your letting agency, which looks after other people's property. And you're investing in property, of which you've just bought one. So you're looking at, you've got 3 different hats that you're wearing to look at this coronavirus issue and how it's affected you. The first question that I wanted to ask you is, how do you think that this lockdown and the restrictions on movement have affected your competitors? And by competitors, I guess I'm really mainly talking about the letting agency.
I mean, I speak to quite a few. I've got a friend who we work very closely with. I suppose it's a bit of a bonus for me, but my last month was my worst month in the last 4 years, which will stand me in good stead for the self-employed grants, I feel, but it obviously does show an indication of what's going on. And that's because people weren't able to pay their rent. But they're all picking up now. We've got universal credit kicking in and everything else. We're not doing anything proactive in lettings. We can't. We've taken the decision that we're not going to advertise properties unless we can safely do viewings in there. But I think the competitors, there are a couple that are advertising loads of properties. There are people that are just doing nothing. I think what they've done in most of the branches, from what I've heard, is the owner or the manager is the one working and all the staff have been furloughed. That does present some interesting challenges because not all of the owners actually work in the business.
Right.
So they probably haven't got a grip. If they've got an estate agency, possibly they've never touched the letting side on the day-to-day of lettings. I think a lot of people have just furloughed off all their staff.
I've never seen more videos on sites like Spare Room than ever before, where obviously people can't get out. The freedom of movement isn't there at the minute. They're using the video to then drive leads, which then sets them up to recover much quicker than competitors. Yeah. Have you looked at doing stuff like that? Is that something you already did?
Videos. We've done videos for, I've got 3 empty properties. We've done videos. One of them, we're taking the opportunity to do the completely redecorate it because it's empty anyway. But yeah, I let one 2 weeks ago from a video that I never met. I never actually met the tenant until the day that she moved in because she took it on the video viewing, but she was effectively homeless. So I got round it because the council were guarantoring her to take the property. But yeah, the video ones, and funnily enough, the last video one I did was I showed my landlord because I wanted to get it refurbed. So I did my video walk round because I don't agree with going to a property and standing there every time someone wants a viewing. So we've done one and I upload them to my YouTube channel, and then I can send people the link or put the link onto the site. Yeah, the landlord was so impressed by my walk round, because obviously he hadn't seen his house for a number of years. So that was really good.
And what about the sourcing business? Have you seen, I mean, it's a bit more difficult because it's harder to keep track on what other sources are doing around you, but have you seen any sources out there? Have you seen any activity that they've done over the lockdown?
I don't know of any active group. There's a lot of people that I'm in a little group where they do a lot of rent to rent stuff, and I know they're really struggling with some of their rent to rent, but they are letting them to, because they're in Canterbury, so they're letting them to key workers. So there's some quite positive stuff coming out of that. And they're always putting in, has anyone got a property in such and such and they've got leads coming in. I think they're getting them directly from somehow from the NHS or something. I think people are still looking. I'm certainly looking all the time I've still got all my alerts going, and I'm still looking through stuff and working it, and looking to see if it's going to work out and everything. There's a lot of stuff coming on, definitely.
That's it. Yeah, I was going to ask that. So have you seen you stock coming on to buy?
Definitely. Lots of sales going on, yeah.
So
certain agents...
Yes.
I don't think all agents are working. I think some of them.
Well, that's relevant to the next question. So I was going to ask you what your competitors have done during this time, or what you've seen them doing that potentially you haven't been doing, or you hadn't been doing before that you've adopted. So, and going back to lettings, I think first of all.
Yeah, I think the lettings, the virtual tours are a no-brainer, because we might as well just do those, although you can't necessarily do it if you've got people in the property, because it would be a bit awkward if you've got a family living there or something. But yeah, I think they're a no-brainer, and we'll do those for the future. And I think everyone's, getting on and doing those. They are still advertising stuff and putting it out there. So certainly around here, there's a lot of stuff on the market. I'm not sure there's the take up for it though. That's the only thing for lettings. We've certainly, embraced technology and everything a lot more than we possibly would have done previously.
So looking back at the sourcing side of your business, what have you done to adapt to the market conditions in the last couple of months?
Initially, I just decided to crack on and get all my accounts done and everything, because I thought it was a really good idea, which it is actually. But I've got some investors that I've got properties going through with and that I've been working with. So I'm project managing one. So I'm still keeping a brief on that. And I still go over to the house, even though the builder's there once a week, just to sort of update. And we've got a WhatsApp group with the owners, and we post pictures and everything on there. So that's really good. So I'm still managing that. And then the others, I've just literally had an email from my client saying that Paragon are now doing desktop valuations. So his valuation that had been basically was meant to happen on the 24th of March is ready to go ahead. So I've got to provide some photos and stuff from because he hasn't seen the property. So when I did all the sourcing, he wants all of that. So
what are you expecting from the next couple of months?
I actually think that when we get out of this, people are going to go mad, and I think they are going to actually try and move. I think there's so many people that perhaps are all fed up being stuck in their house, and they've done all their house up so it's all ready to sell. So I actually think the market will go mad so that the rental market certainly will, because I think people will be ready to move, and I do think the sales market as well.
The lessons that you're taking forward from this are going to be get to know your tenants better, so you know their situation if anything should happen. You've freed up your time by getting all of your admin stuff out of the way while you've got the opportunity to, and adopting technology as well. So that if you do a video viewing as per standard now in all of your properties, then that might answer a lot of questions that otherwise would have come to you. But they can just look at the video and see the layout and see what you potentially answer the question that they previously had. So again, that's basically just freeing up your time.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, well, lovely to speak to you again, Karen.
Yeah, no, that's been great. Thank you.
And I'm sure you'll get a lot more subscribers, so look out for that in the next couple of days.
Brilliant. All right.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye.